Welcome back. Thank you so much for returning to us. You didn't flee. That was fantastic. So let's get right to it. Let's show you how we do this. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. And how do we serve someone, Megan, this evening?
Sure thing. Our first question tonight says, I'm 48 and have been married to my wonderful husband, who's 49, for almost 20 years. We have one son together, 18, who lives at home. We have 3 other adult children who now live on their own. My husband has 2 sons, 27 and 25, and I have a 29-year-old son from a previous marriage. My husband and I are very open with each other about our finances. However, the responsibility to manage our finances has always completely rested on my shoulders. My husband is not fully engaged in our investments, and I do not want to make a mistake with our investment portfolio. We started with very little, but I researched investment options and worked hard to grow our business. Now we've decided that I will retire and my husband will work 8 months a year for another 5 years to let our investments grow. However, I wake up with anxiety wondering if I made a mistake retiring. The problem is that financial planners want to manage our $2 million portfolio for a fee, and we are scared that our retirement savings will be destroyed if we hire the wrong advisor. We have not received the best advice in the past. What would you recommend that we do? I would like to put together a solid retirement plan for us. Thank you.
This is fascinating. And I'm sure a number of you in the audience are hearing that and saying, isn't that unusual? He's not interested in the financial picture and she is. I'm here to tell you that's not unusual at all. In today's world, in the world of my parents' generation, I'm quite certain that it was predominantly the husband that took charge of the money and the little lady did what she... Now, I'm not even sure about that either. It certainly wasn't the case in my family. Growing up, gosh, my mom was, boom, on top of the money and knew exactly where it was and exactly what needed to be spent. My dad knew that he got a paycheck. He just didn't know what it was because he would just hand it over to mom. So I think if you're surprised that this young lady has taken charge, you might be out of the loop a bit because we're finding it more and more and more. So, John, when we start to interview a couple like this who have very serious concerns, she's got anxiety, he has kind of a disconnect, where do we start in bringing this to a comfortable position for them?
Well, I think they definitely want to interview a handful of folks, a handful of advisors to get a feel because they don't want to make a mistake. Right? It sounds like there's some concern there about hiring an advisor. So meet with a few. Get a feel for their firm, what their process is, what additional services they offer just besides professional money management, because it does sound like you need some help to relieve some of the anxiety that you have. I mean, you're still very young. You're in your 40s. You could live another 50 plus years. So to take some of that stress off of your back, so you can enjoy retirement the next 50 plus years, that would be great. And you want it to feel like a partnership when you sit down and meet with these folks. You want to let everything out there on the table, finances and otherwise, and get a really good feel for, can I trust them? Do they respect me? Can I respect them? Does it feel like a partnership relationship? That's the type of fit that you want to have. That's the type of fit that we look for when we sit down with potential clients.
I really like where you're starting, John. I think that makes a tremendous amount of sense for this couple in particular. She is far more in need of peace of mind than she's in need of heavy-duty investment advice. $2 million portfolio, tremendous accomplishment at a very young age. Your point about how young they are, I think, is exceptionally important. They are less than halfway home. So she's retired less than halfway home in terms of when she graduates to the next dimension. Bottom line for them is they likely, potentially, she could be retired far longer than she worked. And having some sense of, can I do this? Can I sleep at night? Is very, very important. There are a couple of things that sadly we must acknowledge. We have to acknowledge. Yeah, not all financial advisors are very good. kind of that's just, not all doctors are very good. Not all lawyers, all right, forget lawyers. Not all builders are very good. Lawyers. Bottom line is, yes, John is right. You must interview until you have met a financial advisor, more properly, a financial advisory team. If you've acquired $2 million and you have a business and you're retiring, you need the services of a team. Absolutely right, John. Gosh, investments, of course. Estate planning, of course. You've got a blended family, multiple different pieces, moving parts. That's got to be addressed. Social security planning, strategies on Social Security. All of that has to come from a team. But it's got to be a team where you're both going, we feel really comfortable. The litmus test should be when you're speaking to them, if you've decided, I think I want to work with them, do you see yourself working with that team for 20 or 30 or more years? Not for a year or two and trying it out, but do you get that sense? Do you get that peace? Do you get that feel that chemistry that we could be here for the rest of our lives? And if you find that, it's fantastic. Yes, financial advisors get paid. That part is true. And you're going, they get paid. Yes, a quality financial advisor, according to Vanguard, one of the most respected financial groups in the world, a quality financial advisor adds about 3.5% of value per year. So if your financial advisor is charging a fee of approximately 1%, in this case, approximately $20,000 a year, you should see about a $70,000 boost over and above what you've been able to accomplish. And that doesn't even take into account the tax planning, the estate planning, et cetera, et cetera. So John got you started down the right path. Get some referrals. Talk to people that you trust, that you admire, that are in a similar circumstance. Find out who they use. Make sure that whoever you're using obviously has their own TV show, because that's the most critical key. I was kind of teasing. The studio audience did not find it that funny. They were crickets. We had crickets.